Howdy, everyone. Welcome to the Ramblin time. I appreciate each one of you here. I see a lot of people have joined in already, and I saw Sharon. I said hi to Sharon and Tiffany. Gypsy and Vanilla Grillets here, and I thought about him while I was sitting there because on my desk I still have this ghost pepper spicy chicken flavored ramen that we were supposed to have done with him on a live, or at least the time we could do it, and I had it on vacation and left it on my desk. So yeah, this is if you ever want to see something, go watch him eat this stuff. It's pretty cool. Today's kind of a special day. I don't do a whole lot of lives. I might want to try to start doing lives on Monday since my work schedule changed a little bit and I have some Mondays that I can do it, and I think this is a good time for me. Hopefully it's a good time for everybody else. And I'm going to have a little bit of story time today. I was at Kroger's, or we call it Smith's here, but at Kroger's, and I found this spicy hot deep sea mackerel. And it brought back memories when I lived in the Philippines and eating some dry fish. And let me just say hi a few people real quick so I can make sure I catch everybody in. Tim Barber, he's a relative of mine, and he made me a fancy Phyllis Rambler belt, and I think he's doing a few leather holder for some passports. Can't wait to see those. And Tiffany's online. She's from Montana. She is probably getting to the springtime now like we are here. And John, Pedrosa's Travel. I love his shows because he kind of does videos like I do. So he's always traveling and just talking about history, what I like to do a little bit more. Let me see real quick up here who else we have. I think that's who we have, at least in the chat right now. Nikki Comber's here. I appreciate Nikki. She's also one of my Ramblers, and Scorchy's one of my Ramblers there. And I appreciate them doing the work that they do for me. And is there no sound? Guys, give me a thumbs up if there's no sound. Or give me a thumbs up if there's that. Well, tell me there's no sound. Scorchy, is there sound? I'm just waiting right here for someone to give me say yeah, if there's sound or not. I can turn on my phone and ask. If there's no sound. Oh, I got sound on my phone, so I take it we have sound. Yeah, someone says they can't hear it. I think that was Terry. So let's get back here and talk about a few things. If you have any questions, Dan's online here. Nice Aztec calendar on your wall. Yeah, this one right here. That's reminds me of time is endless because it's an endless calendar. It just keeps regenerating itself, and life is always good. And plus, I love Mexico, so Mexico is a nice place to go visit. I think John Pedrosa is heading on a ship in a couple of weeks and heading down to Cabo for a week. I don't know if he's going to cruise or just driving down to Cabo. Beautiful thing about Cabo, I spent 11 days there off the shore and went scuba diving and skin diving and saw a lot of hammerhead sharks and stuff. That was kind of a fun trip there. But let's get to the meat of things here. Thank you, Sharon. She says there's plenty of sound here. If it doesn't sound very good, you just need to tell me. So I got 3 things here. And I'm going to tell you a few stories. And I'm going to start out with some mackerel. I'm going to show you something that's kind of fun. Look at that. You got Yosemite National Park. And Terry knows about this story. When I lived in the Philippines, we used to eat a lot of dry fish. And I didn't mind it too bad. Used to be prepared up, cooked up there. We used to go to the market, pick it up. We had house servants that actually cooked it up for us. But we'd go down to the market, get the dry fish. Now, dry fish doesn't have the best smell in the world. It can be very tasty and very delicious, but it doesn't have the best taste. And there's a little story here in Yosemite that me and Terry got married. We headed off to take a little vacation during Easter. When we first got married, the first year of being married, and we headed down to Yosemite. Now over here on Half Dome, I've climbed that before. I've climbed the backside, and I've also climbed the, if you see it, I've climbed the face right there, Chenard Herbert route right there. And that was a fun thing to do as a teenager. And I wanted to show Terry Yosemite and kind of do some hikes and some trails up here. And let's see if I can get back to live web here. So we went there and we was going to celebrate Easter there. And let's see if I can back off or get this thing focused a little bit. And Terry's had this smell and goes, what's this pungent smell going throughout the valley? Because smoke kind of settles in the valley there, and you can smell everything that's being cooked. So you can smell the bacon and eggs and the pancakes and stuff in the morning. And one morning it smelled, it's really pungent smell. And the smell was someone cooking dried fish. And when someone cooks dried fish, you can smell it for miles. So I thought, I think it'd be cool if I sit there and bought these mackerel and see how it tastes. Now, I used to have a friend, Bob Napton. We used to go fishing out of there in Northern California. Oh, dropped one. And we used to go fishing for mackerel. And Bob would take it home and he'd prepare it for us. He had this boat out of Santa Cruz that in Monterey that we used to go boating off of. It was a World War II landing craft, not a Higgins boat, but it was a landing craft that looked like a boat. I think it was about a 40-footer, and we'd head out there. And some of the stories they have there when I went boating there, something about me in water and really rough seas. I got pretty sick once and catching those mackerel. I have two stories there, but the mackerel one was I was fishing with his daughter Gina, and I was drinking Dr. Pepper, and what came in, it also exploded out with the carbon buildup there, and it was like a pretty exciting trip. But we caught a lot of mackerel. We took it home. And the thing about mackerel, there is a dark area in mackerel, and you can see this dark area. That's the fatty area and has a really strong fishy taste. But this is dried mackerel. So we're going to taste it and see how it tastes and see if it reminds me back of eating in the Philippines. So it's really good, actually. I think you have to like fish. Mackerel has a very strong fish taste. This one has spice in it. So I'm getting that back burning sensation. I don't know what type of spices they have in there. It says, this says peppers, man. Salt. And I can't quite read what the name of that pepper is. It's pepper oil. Rattan, it says rattan peppers, and I'm not sure what that pepper happens to be. I have to look that one up. But it does have a very good fish taste to it. A little bit sweeter because this is probably from Japan, not the Philippines. And it's not as dry as the dry fish that you reconstitute up in the water and then kind of fry it up and bake it up there. There's whiting fish. I've tried whitefish before. I don't know about whiting fish there, Sharon. I bet it's a pretty good tasting fish. Tiffany says I am rare shark species, Sharon. That's yeah, but I should tell you, I've eaten a lot of shark too. So one of the things that Bob Nackman would catch, we used to go catch shark out there in the water too, and we'd cook them up. So yeah, and then the Philippines, they dried the shark out too and do it. I'll try one more of these. And in the Philippines, when they would cook it up, one thing about the dried fish, it's called sun dried, and it's called danang or toyo. And I hope I'm pronouncing the other pronunciation, but it's danang. and it just means sun-dried or sun-baked fish. Types of fish they have there is called dagat, sap, um, galangang. That's a hard one to say, galangang. Now, when they dry it up, they just set it out on racks and let the sun dry it out, and that's why it's called sun dangnang, what means sun-baked fish. I'll tell you the truth, these are pretty good. But again, very fishy tasting. It's not going to be like a halibut or a weaker salmon. It's a strong fish taste. Maybe like some babbitt, maybe. That type of fish. I know that Girl and Vanilla, or Gypsy and Vanilla Girl, they go fishing. But it is a good taste. Now, that's the kind of couple of stories there. Anyway, my wife, back to the Yosemite incident. I really never wanted to try dry fish after that smell, because once you have that smell, it's amazing, pungent smell. You just have to get used to it. I wasn't that long out of the Philippines, so again, it was something nice to eat. Now let me do something else here. Crystal, she got me some prepared squid. Now I lived in a town called Oroqueta. And Oroqueta was the shrimp capital, not shrimp, but the squid capital of the world. Now I bought some really good shrimp there too. But it was the shrimp capital of the world. So we got shrimp every day. We used to eat a lot of shrimp adobo. Certainly I love calamari. You probably saw that last video, me struggling to eat that calamari on the Radiance. But dried squid has a different texture and different taste to it. Crystal, last time she bought this, really didn't like it here. Yeah. So if you buy calamari is a type of squid. That's kind of funny because that calamari that we use to fish with is what we make actually calamari with. So you cut that up and you go and catch the sharks, you catch try to catch the halibut or something with that squid, and it's a fish bait. So basically, when you eat calamari, you're eating fish bait. Certainly this is fish bait. It's going to be tough, kind of like that squid on the Carnival Radiance. Matter of fact, oh, that's good. What brand is this? It says it's supposed to be hot. That mackerel is hot. Waiting for the heat to come in. It says it's red rice vinegar that's soaked in, red chili peppers. So it's not going to be more hardened than the chili peppers you're putting on your pizza. But I put tons on it. MSG and subric acid as a preservative. So if you're allergic to MSG, my mom was, it'd give her headaches. But I'm not. In fact, MSG is what you use for a salt substitute. And in the Philippines, they put MSG on everything. It brings out the flavor on there. Let's see, read some of these comments here. You've had octopus, Tiffany? Yeah. Octopus is like squid. Either you have to cook it really quick and almost raw when you eat it to be soft, or you have to really cook it for a long time. I love octopus. It's a great tasting mollusk. I don't know if it's a mollusk. It's not a fish either. Let's see. Let me go back up and see some of these comments here. Sharon says, there's an ocean fish that's called whiting. Oh, okay. I might have had it before. I just don't recognize the name there, Sharon. I love mackerel. It's one of my favorites on sushi. Yeah, I like the sushi mackerel too. I like it more sashimi, where you cut it up and you slice it up in little rolls and you can just pop it in your mouth and eat it. I'd rather have other fish on the sushi itself, but certainly as sashimi, I like eating that and whitefish. Terry doesn't like the whitefish so much. He'd rather have the salmon. He'd rather have the tuna. Makes it a little bit better. Dan wrote that comment. let's see what else we have here. I don't think. Let's see what does Sharon say here. Tim says, I just thinking. Tim's great. No, it'd be his grandmother. It was allergic to MSG. So now let me go back here to the PowerPoint for a minute. I want to show you a couple things here. So that's a dry fish. The next one is mackerel, right? Eating a mackerel. Now we just did the squid. Squid's pretty easy to cook. It's really easy to cook. You basically have to take off two things. They have a backbone or back ridge of cartilage that you have to take out, and you have to take out that jaw that's in there. If not, like, it will break your teeth. So make sure when you cook this like that. Mackerel, again, there's all kinds of different mackerels, and I really do enjoy the taste of mackerel. Just if you cut off the dark end, it's a little bit milder fish, but if you eat the dark, it's really a fatty part of the fish, and it puts a lot of strong flavor to it. So if you like strong fish, it's wonderful. There's the next fish I'm going to try right here, and I can tell you the truth, I never had this in the Philippines. Lots of squid, lots of mackerel, lots of other types of dagat, and so that type of fish. But this fish is called lizard fish, and there it is. Right, that's a pretty one. That's probably for an aquarium, but that's what a lizard fish looks like. It's kind of a mean-looking fish, and they made these little snacks out of it, and we thought it'd be kind of fun to try these snacks out as I tell you the little stories in the Philippines. And if you want to know anything about the Philippines, I'll be happy to tell you. I lived in a town called Zamboanga, and Zamboanga has pink sand beaches. They have some red coral and the white coral and puts it together, and the beaches are these beautiful pink beaches. And one of my favorite things to do was go down to the docks and buy Pringles. It just yo Eddie, I guess he's in the house. He just got a drone. I'm excited to see some of his footage on drones. My son also bought a drone. It just costs a lot of money to try to get the license. It's like, what, $175? But yeah, you have to have that drone license to fly around and actually show video on YouTube. You don't have that license, you can't put that on YouTube. But I'm excited that it has that drone. As a matter of fact, the exact same drone my son bought. So we're going to try flying it this weekend, and I'll certainly will crash it. So I'm excited for you, Eddie. Last drone I flew was a little helicopter thing. It went up, and there. Well, it did come back down, but in a crashing way. It just went up until a point that they decided to come down and crash. So it's kind of funny. So let me get back off of this and back to. So let's try this. Now I can't pronounce it. It's called tinjang. It's called tinjang stick. Again, when I was in the Philippines, I learned 2 languages there. I learned Visayan, and then another language called Chipacano. What Chipacano is a Spanish-based dialogue out there, but it's not really Spanish. So my Spanish is pretty bad. So when I say Spanish on these Mexican trips, it's because it's pretty bad. But this is again lizard fish. It's I don't know how they process it. Oh, that's tough. A little bit tougher than fruit leather. Oh. A little spicy at it. Is it a spicy one? It's called mala flavor, and it's again, if you look at it, it is a hot spice. It looks like a chili pepper of some sort, kind of like that Asian pepper that's really hot. I'll tell you a story that's kind of fun. What we used to do is, a lot of the Americans, when they came in, we would get the little red pepper and have this really hot pepper. And we'd tell them, oh, this is a really sweet pepper you'd love to have. And they'll put it in their mouth, chew it, burn the crap out of their mouth. And they would just laugh. Kind of sad, isn't it? I don't want to tell, well, Dan, the rarest thing I've eaten, probably, and I probably, at the time, it really wasn't as important because, you know, quite a few years ago, was green turtle. And I know that's not a fish, but it was at the market. They were selling it. I bought some steaks, green turtle steaks. And I tell you, that is the best meat I've ever had in my life. I know why people eat green turtles. Now you think that is bad because I wouldn't do it now at all. They consider endangered. Back then it wasn't, but now they're considered endangered, and you don't want to eat sea turtles. But yeah, I think in the Philippines the hardest thing to eat was balut. I like balut. Balut's an 18 to 21 day duck embryo and an egg, and you open it up, put some salt in, and pop it in your mouth. You suck out the juice first. That's probably the grossest looking thing I've ever eaten on there, Dan. I think in the Philippines, what I ate, sometimes I just didn't know. Our house cook would cook it up, and we'd just eat it there. Yeah, Nick, I've had turtle before. Yeah, it's delicious. More delicious than this thing is. I can hardly chew this. It has that pungent taste I was talking about? Kind of a soury, dead fish taste. That's what this has. That's what type of taste this one has. I wouldn't suggest it. I'll eat them. One thing about me, I basically almost eat everything except green beans and peas. Uh-oh, it died on me. I had to turn off the camera and turn it back on. Hold on. It does this on me. I can switch over to my... it just died on me, so I'm going to switch out of this and try my webcam here. I hope you can still hear me. This is my webcam. I'm just going to pop that on here for the rest of it. My camera died. I haven't figured that out yet. We tried setting it up, and that's what I was trying to set up for a while. Is that the why it died out? Maybe overheats. I'm not sure what's going on. It's a Sony A6400, and Backyard Barnyard says try pressing the shutter. Maybe Chris will come up and try to turn it back on for me and see if we can get it to turn back on. I just turned it back off and turned it back on, but it did not seem to want to restart again. I'm just sorry for standing up here. I'll just try it one more time here. There, it's back on again, so I'm going to switch over cameras. And thanks for that suggestion, Backdoor Barnyard. Appreciate it. So, back to a couple of stories. In the Philippines, I lived on a banana plantation. Had as many bananas as you ever want in your life. One thing about the Filipino people, they're very loving, and they always will take you in, and they would always bring me bananas. Just bananas on bananas on bananas. So back to 3 things I really don't like to eat. Though I do like banana cream pie and stuff like that, I don't like raw bananas anymore. One reason is that there's hundreds of varieties of bananas, and the variety they sell in the store here, we call them sagings, or best banana in the Philippines, they call them sagings, but basically they pick them green, and they send them through sulfur to ripen them up or make them yellow. And the problem with that is that the banana itself is not really ripe. It's just the skin becomes ripe, but the banana itself is not ripe, so it doesn't have that really great taste on it. So when I eat it, it kind of tastes chalky, so I don't eat a lot of bananas. And the other things I don't eat, and believe it or not, is green beans and peas. With the raw peas are okay, but I just don't like them. So anything else I think I've eaten, I enjoy basically everything I eat. It just, I may not eat it again, but at least I'll try it and see what it is. Dang it. Yeah, dang it's 2 different things. Dang it is not fixed. Also, dang it is a fish. So, that's kind of fun. Try pressing shutter. I did that. So, now it says looks fine, Nikki's saying. This has been a Again, I'm not much of a live person. I'm not a person who tries a lot of food. That's the Gypsy and Vanilla Gorilla. He tries it twice a week, and I love watching those videos. I comment to him, but I saw these at the store, and I thought, I just need to give it a shot. I need to see how this dry mackerel tastes and see if it brings back old memories, because it's been 40 years since I've been there. It's been a while. I've been looking up how much it costs to retire there, and it's you're considered rich if you have $1,000 a month there. Oh, I'm going to take a quick sip. And so if you have Social Security, how much would you be considered rich, and how much you can get over there? Certainly a beautiful country, though. Absolutely beautiful. I have not had a peanut butter and banana sandwich, Sharon. Not at all. Me and Elvis, we just don't have it. I probably would enjoy it, though. Like I said, there are banana things I do like, like banana cream pie and stuff like that. It's the raw bananas, what I'm talking about, is that they have a chalky taste to me because of the types of bananas I've had in the past, and I know how they process them. If you let them ripen actually on the banana tree itself, they're so much sweeter. There's a huge difference in taste. Now, we tried growing bananas, and we had a banana plant that I think we gave people hundreds of them because they sprout out and they just continue to grow banana plants. But never once did that banana plant ever grow me a banana. So that was kind of sip of your Foster's. I'm not sure quite, Eddie. I take that's going to be a beer. And I think they drink a lot of San Miguel there in the Philippines. So fearless, you need to try peanut butter and banana sandwich. I do. The potassium is high. It probably is high. Sometimes you need potassium, and that's a problem. Sometimes you get cramps, and your legs and stuff, especially doing a lot of hiking and stuff. And I think potassium is one of those things that help out on cramps. I don't know what it does to your body if you eat too much potassium, but certainly Eddie might know about that, and he could probably fill us in on that one for sure. I'm not Mr. Health expert. Believe me, I'm not Mr. Healthy at all. Though we did go on a nice hike yesterday. It finally rose up to about 55 degrees yesterday. The snow's melting off, and we went on a hike up the Ogden River. That's where I went past the place where I broke my foot last year at. If you ever want to see that video, I'll show you me actually breaking my foot because I'm videoing at the time. It's when we had floods, and I was videoing the floods, and I was walking sideways taking a picture of Terry, and I hit a hole and broke my foot. So that's always fun to do. Cramps is the lack of salt. Okay, that's good to know too. Sometimes at night when I exercise and stuff, I get the cramps, and it's good to know that. If there's any questions you want to ask me, I'll be happy to answer any questions right now for that next few minutes. Yikes, Eddie, potassium was high about a month ago. Not it's down like 48. I don't even know how, Sharon, I don't even know how to measure potassium. I have no idea. Yeah, it's no fun. Snapping a foot, is it, Eddie? It's not fun at all. One of these days, again, Eddie's going to have that great video of the. Oh yeah, there's two seasons in the Philippines. I'll just let you know that. There's hot and hotter and wet and wetter. That's the two seasons, right? Maybe it's 4 seasons but they all combine all together. I remember it was in Tagum. In Tagum, the weather got down. Now they do get snow on Mindanao. There's a tall mountain there. They do get snow, but it went down to 70 degrees, and everybody thought they were dying of cold. They thought they're going to freeze to death. In the Philippines, if they were wearing coats, they bought coats, they'd wrap it up in blankets. They still wore shorts and their flip-flops, but they thought they were going to die of cold. That was always insane. So what's my favorite Philippine meal? Well, it, it, it depends. During the rainy season, I loved the deep fried chickens. They would take the whole chicken head and all, and they would gut it, but they would just take it and deep fry it and bring it back out and have the full chicken there. That was a great meal with some pancit and maybe a little bit of adobo. Um, I've had some adobo that you probably don't want me to know that I had. And again, I'm going to switch over to the other camera as we are quitting here. There we go. So yeah, and certainly if it's a good pork adobo, it's one of my favorites. Of course, that's a Mexican meal that you can probably get anywhere on there. Um, one of the oddest meals I had one time was served up to me, and it was just a bowl of rice, a plate of rice, and then a tuna head cooked and put on top. Now the tuna around the back around there, um, around the throat area, is really a tender piece of the tuna. It's really good tasting, but they expect me all of it, eyes and all. So, wow, that's pretty high there, Sharon. Yeah, Eddie says his pork adobo is one of his favorites, and certainly it's one of mine. Um, though I'll almost eat anything that's been cooked in Filipino style. They have their own taste. I love going down to luchan or basically baked pig, or that's one of my favorites too, where they get a stove and they put on a spit and they cook the pig in circle. It's called lechon. One of my favorite things. Might be pronounced a little different there in Puerto Rico, but I know it's another Spanish dish that's really good tasting. Well, it looks like I'm about out of time. Like I said, I want to spend about a half hour with you. If you like these, I'll continue on with them on Mondays and tell you some other stories if you're interested in hearing those. And I'd like to say most of the times I probably won't be doing food taste unless I find something really weird. I'll leave that up to the Egyptian Vanilla Grella on showing me. And go to his site. They're one. I just love watching them eat stuff. They'll try every Pringle, every Dorito, everything out there. It's kind of fun to watch. What you're hearing is my garage door opener. It's pretty loud. So thank you very much for joining me today. And if you haven't yet become a member, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I think everybody here is subscribed, but please subscribe and give me some thumbs up. You know, like I always say, give me 2 thumbs up, because it's George Phillips Rambler, and that's what my little saying there. I know you can only give me 1. Give me 2, it ends up with being 1 positive, 1 negative. Hey, I'll take those 2. So thank you very much. It's been a fun day with you guys. Have a great day. This is George Phillips Rambler, signing off.